For years, I kept hearing people say that Animal Crossing New Leaf is the best game in the series. I recently got my very first 3DS, which meant I could finally try it for myself. After playing it every day for over a month, I think I understand why it's so beloved. But coming from New Horizons, there were also a few things that really surprised me. So in this video, I want to discuss what New Leaf does well, what feels outdated, how it compares to New Horizons, and whether it's still worth playing today. For starters, let's quickly go over the basics. In New Leaf, you move to an already populated town and unexpectedly become its mayor, with Isabelle acting as your very enthusiastic secretary. As mayor, you help develop the town by funding public works projects and taking care of the environment. Building relationships with your neighbors is also a big part of the game. You do this by talking to them regularly, sending letters, and helping them with requests. Of course, there are plenty of other activities too. You can fish, catch bugs, dig fossils, and decorate and expand your house, which means Tom Nook will once again gladly take your bells. As you play, your town's shopping district, called Main Street, gradually grows too, bringing new stores and services with it. You can also travel to Tortimer Island, where you can take part in timed minigames to earn medals that can be exchanged for exclusive items. Like other games in the series, New Leaf is designed to be played in short daily sessions over a long period of time. The game runs in real time, with different seasonal events happening throughout the year. But after playing New Leaf every day for over a month, I started noticing what truly makes this game special. I've always heard fans say that villagers feel more alive here than in New Horizons, and after playing the game myself, I actually agree. Even though there are still 8 personality types, they come across as more distinct here. In New Horizons, all villagers are very friendly right away, while in New Leaf, some personalities take more time to warm up to you. For example, snooty and cranky villagers, while not overly rude, tend to be sassier than the other personality types. But once you put in the effort to befriend them, they become much friendlier, and it feels really rewarding to finally break through their walls. In general, villagers seem more lively in New Leaf. They often ask for favors, invite you over to their homes, or ask if they can visit yours. On top of that, the dialogue repeats far less often compared to New Horizons, which makes talking to your neighbors genuinely entertaining. Something I unexpectedly came to appreciate is how new villagers move in completely at random. You never know who might end up living next door. In New Horizons, you can spend hours hunting for the perfect villager. In New Leaf, unless you use amiibo cards, you simply have to see what the game gives you. At first, I wasn't exactly thrilled about Gigi and Diva moving into my town. I probably wouldn't have invited them to my island in New Horizons. But since I didn't really have a choice, I decided to befriend everyone, and over time they actually grew on me. It ended up feeling much more natural, and honestly closer to how friendships work in real life. After all, you don't usually become friends with someone just because they perfectly match your aesthetic. Another interesting mechanic is that villagers can actually move away on their own, if you don't play for a while and miss the chance to convince them to stay. While this isn't the most player-friendly feature, it does make the town feel more alive and the villagers more independent. What also surprised me is that I didn't mind the limited town customization options as much as I expected. Compared to New Horizons, you have far less control over how your town looks. You can't place furniture outside, shape the rivers, or terraform the land. There's also no crafting system in New Leaf, so most items come from shops, events, or villagers instead. The main way to improve your town is through public works projects, planting flowers and trees, and using custom designs as paths. It sounds limiting, and honestly it is, but it also removes a lot of pressure. In New Horizons, decorating my island sometimes felt overwhelming, like I always needed to keep working on it. In New Leaf, things feel simpler and more relaxed. Instead of constantly redesigning the town, I can just enjoy spending time with my villagers. But the feature I was most curious about before playing was Tortimer Island. I kept seeing people praise it online, and it definitely lives up to the hype. Tortimer Island is always set in summer and is full of rare, high-value fish and insects. During the winter months, when bugs and fish are scarce in your town, the island becomes a great place to earn bells, while the main attraction is the minigames. They are not particularly complex, but they provide a really fun change of pace. Most of them involve familiar mechanics, like catching bugs and fish, but with an added time limit. When the 3DS Online service was still active, you could also play them with other players online. Apparently, it's still possible through Pretendo, though I haven't tried it yet. I can definitely see why so many players wanted Tortimer Island to return in New Horizons. I also have to talk about the music and visuals, because they're a huge part of what makes New Leaf so charming. Even though New Horizons has more detailed graphics, New Leaf has a lot more character. The art style is cute and whimsical, with lots of small details that add to the charm, like chimney smoke drifting out of buildings in different shapes. And the soundtrack is fantastic. Some of my favorite tracks are the ones that play at 11 AM, 1 PM, 5 PM and 7 PM. I often find myself listening to them outside the game as well. It's the kind of music that makes you want to slow down, walk around town for a bit, and just enjoy the moment. Even though I had a great time with New Leaf, there were a few things that I didn't like. First, the lackluster character customization. What I didn't realize at first is that your character's face is determined by the dialogue choices you make during the introduction. You can change your hairstyle, hair color, and eye color later in the game, but there's no way to change your face, unless you use a safe editor. There are also no skin tone options, which feels outdated today. Another thing that bothered me is that villagers can place their homes wherever they want and you can't move them. So if someone decides to move right in front of the town hall, there's no much you can do about it. The inventory system can also be a bit frustrating. I feel spoiled by New Horizons 40 inventory slots. In New Leaf you only have 16. On top of that, fruit doesn't stack automatically, so you have to do it yourself. So is Animal Crossing New Leaf worth playing today? The short answer is yes, especially if building relationships with villagers is what you enjoy most. In New Leaf, the villagers have more personality and the dialogue is richer, which makes interacting with them a much bigger part of the experience. On the other hand, if you mainly enjoy decorating, New Horizons might be the better choice. It gives you a lot more freedom when it comes to shaping and customizing your island, and it's also more player-friendly in certain ways, letting you move buildings and fully customize your character. New Leaf, however, focuses less on designing everything, and more on simply living in the town and getting to know the characters who live there. That's the essence of New Leaf. Still, there's nothing stopping you from enjoying both games for different reasons. As someone who completely missed the 3DS era, I'm really glad I finally got to experience New Leaf. Even after playing for over a month, it still feels like there's a lot more for me to discover. And honestly, I finally understand why so many players still consider New Leaf the best game in the series. So now I'm curious, have you played New Leaf? And do you prefer it over New Horizons? Let me know in the comments. I'm also thinking about making a video about my first impressions of the 3DS, so let me know if that's something you'd like to see. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!